Hello everybody and welcome back. And also welcome back to me because I'm finally back in my own room. I just got back from GaymerX and it was amazing. It's interesting because I was not that excited about going to it this time just because I've gone to it so many times. But every time I go, I'm reminded about how important this is. And I also got to reconnect with a few friends that I literally only see every year, but it's really interesting just like talking about how much our lives have changed in the span of a year. One of my favorite things about the con was all of the panels that were about talking about social issues within the frame of a LGBT gamer mindset. Talking to developers about having more brown characters, having more Asian characters, and the way that certain games like Dragon Age handle trans characters and pansexual characters, people of color being written or voiced by white people. And what I loved about it was that there were just so many things that everybody got, you know? Everybody at GaymerX, they watched Steven Universe. Everybody watched Steven Universe and everybody watched Sailor Moon. I definitely think that she's evolved into like this, I don't know, like a queer icon without ever intending it to be. Like, it's not even made by queer people, I think, maybe. Like, it wasn't meant to appeal to a queer audience, I guess. Uranus and Neptune, they're in a relationship. It's bullshit that they were cousins. We don't talk about that. It's so dumb. Maybe even more creepy, actually. The Sailor Starfighters basically transforming between sexes. I don't know if I'll say genders, but like their bodies do change, and I'm going to assume that their gender identity changes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone should assume that. Hints of Sailor Moon being bi-curious or bisexual with her interest in Haruka. But in general, I just think that it's so cool how Sailor Moon has inspired so many people, especially gay men, to start on this path of being a feminist. I don't know when was the last time I said this, but Sailor Moon was my first superhero, and I define her as like my first and my favorite superhero. Not Marvel, not DC, even though they're great. I see Sailor Moon as my favorite one. I feel so lucky that Sailor Moon was one of the first shows that I was exposed to. It just normalized for me straight away the idea of a woman being powerful. Feminine did not mean being weak. Being kind did not mean being weak. Men can be totally weak too, because there's so many situations where Tuxedo Masks is too weak and like messes things up for the Sailor Scouts, and they're the ones that have to go save him. And how this show expressed female relationships to me, and winning doesn't always mean killing or being violent towards somebody, because Sailor Moon, even though I thought it was annoying at the time, like she always had this very set moral code of wanting to find the best solution to something without anybody getting hurt, not resorting to violence until it's absolutely necessary. I definitely don't think I would be the person I was today if it wasn't for her, and it just felt so good like talking with people at GaymerX that have this kind of similar relationship to Sailor Moon the same way that I do. I'm just really thankful for Sailor Moon, and I'm really thankful for that space that I got to be in, because it's always so refreshing, it's always so invigorating, and I think it also teaches you, like again, Sailor Moon just teaches you that being a kind person is also its own form of heroism. And I think that's something that I always keep in mind in my everyday life. Being so dedicated to Sailor Moon and like really understanding and dissecting what the show is trying to say. And I think one of the big messages that the show was trying to say, teaching you how to be a hero in your own right. I use that every day when I am a social justice warrior, which I know has a very bad rap. Like Sailor Moon, want to make the world a better place. No matter how much it beats me down, no matter how many upgrades I have to go through, and no matter how many times I lose hope, I want to fight to make the world a better place, and I want to always follow my heart and to change the world with kindness, and also speak up for people that can't. I think that's probably the closest that we can get to being superheroes, is fighting social issues and speaking out about it. Yeah, Sailor Moon's awesome. That's basically the conclusion of this. I'm really curious, like how many of you like Sailor Moon, or how many of you watched it, or how many of you have never heard of it, because maybe you're young and I'm old. So Yeah, let me know. I'm very curious. And if you do know, tell me who your favorite Sailor Scout is. I always tell people that my favorite is Sailor Mercury because I have the same birthday as her. Thank you so much for listening. I, as always, really, really appreciate you. May you right wrongs and triumph over evil. And I will see you next time. Bye.